New way to fight climate change. Paragraph 1. In 2015, an important document was signed in Paris by almost all countries of the world, known as the Paris Agreement, PA. It includes details of actions that governments must take to deal with the problem of climate change. And indeed, many of the goals of the PA have been achieved. For example, wealthy countries pay $100 billion annually to help poorer ones cope with the terrible effects of climate change. Many countries have introduced their own policies to help stop climate change from getting worse. Most importantly, energy sources that damage the environment have been replaced with green energy, such as wind power and solar power. Major industrial nations such as China and Germany are investing billions of dollars in green energy. Even tiny island nations in the Pacific Ocean are switching to solar power. But, according to climate scientist Donna Parker, more needs to be done. We must also get as many people involved as possible, she says. Every person and every family should be made aware of the dangers and do what they can to help. There have been many attempts to encourage people to adopt a way of life that is more environmentally friendly. For example, to use less electricity. However, these attempts have often failed. Unfortunately, most people still ignore the problem of climate change, says Parker. They see the news of huge storms and terrible forest fires, but still think of climate change as a distant threat. They just don't believe it could directly affect them and their families. So, how can this attitude be changed? Studies done in the USA in the last few years point a surprising answer. Parents can be educated by their children. In one study, for example, the scientists designed a school program for 11 to 14 years old children. The kids learned about the effects of climate change and local wildlife and were encouraged to discuss the subject with their parents. Before the program, the scientists gave the parents a survey to find out how concerned they were about climate change. After the program, parents were surveyed again to see if their attitude changed following conversations with their kids. The surveys showed that the school program was a great success. Parents whose kids participated in the program became more concerned about climate change because they understood that it was causing local damage too, says Parker. This understanding is very important because it can make people more willing to behave responsibly. I would love to see programs like this in every school. They could make a big difference. סולר של שמש סולרי. survey, סקר. to survey, לסקור. responsibly, באופן אחראי. שאלות. 1. What do we learn from paragraph 1? What the worst effects of climate change are? What has happened since the PA was signed? Why climate change is getting worse? Why only wealthy countries signed the PA? Number 2. Why are some countries using wind power and solar power? Give one answer from lines 6 to 8. Complete the answer. In order to 3. Name one country in which large investments are being made in solar energy. Paragraph 2. Answer. 4. What opinion does Parker express in paragraph 2? Industries should invest more money in climate research. Not enough governments are aware of climate change. More people need to understand that climate change is dangerous. More countries should switch to solar power. 5. How can people help fight climate change? Base your answer on the example in line 14. Complete the answer. By 6. What does Parker explain in paragraph 3? Why people avoid watching the news? What attempts have been made to change people's lifestyle? How climate change causes forest fires? Why most people don't worry about climate change. 7. In the study described in paragraph 4, how did parents learn about the local effects of climate change? Answer. 8. What are we told about the study that is described in paragraph 4? Why surveys were used in the study? How parents were encouraged to participate in the study? What parents thought about the study? How long the study lasted? 9. According to Parker, why is it important to make people more aware of the effects of climate change? Give one answer from paragraph 5. Complete the answer. Because then people might. Lexical knowledge. Question 10. To adapt, to promise, to relax, to exist, to grab, to prove. To rest and feel calm, to take something quickly with your hand, to tell someone that you will definitely do something. 11. A mystery, a minister, a treatment, a choice, a pension, an occasion. Money paid to people after they retire, something that cannot be understood or explained, a member of a government. 12. Guilty, tough, marvelous, potential, efficient, peculiar, unusual or strange, wonderful, possible. 13. Rarely, equally, reasonably, urgently, obviously, extremely, not often, clearly, very. 14. To be concerned with, to change your mind, to get in touch, to take place, to turn into, to be fed up, to decide something different from what you planned, to change and become someone or something different, to contact someone. שיהיה לכם המון בהצלחה. ותזכרו, אם אתם צריכים עזרה, אני פה בשבילכם, אלי אזולאי אנגליש מאסטר, פרטים בתגובה הראשונה, או בטלפון שמפורסם. ביי ביי, and good luck.